She cheated with my boss at the company Christmas party while I was standing just 10 meters away. Yay! You heard that right? And the worst part, everyone saw it. Let me take you from the very beginning. Her name was Elena. We had been together for 4 years. She worked as a marketing coordinator in the same company where I was a senior developer. Everyone knew us as the perfect couple. We arrived at the office together, left together, had lunch together. People even joked that we were the company's official power couple. I was making good money. We had just bought our first apartment together, and we were already talking about getting married next summer. Life felt complete. Everything started changing when our new department had arrived. David, tall, charismatic, always in expensive suits, the kind of guy who knows how to make everyone feel important. He was only 34, but already had a reputation for turning around struggling teams. Elena suddenly started staying late at the office. David wants me to help with the new campaign, she'd say. She began dressing better for work. New dresses, higher heels, makeup she never wore before. When I asked about it, she laughed and said, "I just want to look professional, babe. Don't be jealous." Then came the small things that I tried to ignore. She started getting messages at 11 p.m. and smiling at her phone. She would go to team building events that somehow always included only her and David. One night, she came home smelling like expensive whiskey and his cologne. When I asked, she rolled her eyes and said, "We had a quick drink after the meeting. That's all." I told myself I was being paranoid. David was her boss. Of course, they had to communicate a lot. I even tried to be supportive. "If you need to stay late, no problem. I trust you." The company Christmas party was on December 23rd. The whole office was there, over 200 people. Open bar, live music, everyone dressed up. Elena looked stunning in a tight black dress I had never seen before. I was standing near the bar, talking with the guys from my team, when I noticed her and David disappear toward the private lounge area on the second floor. I didn't think much of it at first. Maybe they were discussing work. But after 20 minutes, I decided to go check on her. I walked up the stairs, and that's when my entire world collapsed. I turned the corner, and there they were. In the semi-dark lounge room, David had Elena pressed against the wall. They were kissing like teenagers, hungry, desperate. His hand was under her dress. Her hands were in his hair. She was moaning his name quietly between kisses, and I was standing there 10 meters away, holding a glass of champagne, watching my girlfriend make out with my boss while the entire company was partying downstairs. Elena saw me first. Her eyes went wide. She pushed David away so fast he almost fell. David turned around, saw me, and had the audacity to say, "Hey man, it's not what it looks like." Elena started crying immediately. "It was just the alcohol. We got carried away. Please don't make a scene." I didn't say a word. I just turned around and walked back downstairs. But what happened next? After I left the party, that was when the real nightmare began. Because Elena didn't just cheat, she and David had already prepared an entire story to tell everyone, and the way they tried to turn the entire office against me. That part still makes my blood run cold. But what happened next? After I left the party, that was when the real nightmare began. I walked back down to the main hall like a zombie. The music was still blasting. People were laughing, dancing, taking photos. No one knew what had just happened upstairs. I grabbed my coat and left without saying goodbye to anyone. My phone started exploding the second I got into the taxi. Elena, 28, missed calls in 12 minutes. David, "Hey man, let's talk tomorrow at the office. We can sort this out." I turned my phone off. When I finally got home and turned my phone back on, the messages were insane. Elena wrote paragraphs. It was just a stupid, drunk kiss. Nothing more. "You know how stressful work has been. David and I were just venting. Please don't tell anyone. It will destroy both our careers." She even added, "If you love me, you'll forgive this one mistake." David messaged me separately from his personal number. "Look, It was the alcohol. She was emotional. Let's keep this between us. I'll make sure you get that promotion you wanted next quarter. They were already working together to control the narrative. The next morning at the office was hell. Everyone was whispering. Someone had apparently seen us on the stairs. Rumors were flying. Elena came to my desk with red eyes and whispered, "Can we talk in the meeting room? Please." Inside the room, she started crying again. Loud, theatrical sobs. I was drunk. I felt invisible at the party. David was giving me attention, and it just happened. "But I love you. I want to marry you." Then she dropped the bomb. "If you make this public, HR will investigate both of us. We could both lose our jobs. Is that what you want?" She turned it into my fault for making a scene and ruining the company Christmas party. What she didn't know was that I had already started digging. I went through her work laptop. She had left it open the week before. There were deleted Slack messages going back 3 months. David writing her at 2 a.m.? "Can't stop thinking about last night in the hotel." Elena replying, "Same. I feel guilty, but I can't help it." Hotel receipts. Photos of them together at a conference 2 months earlier. It wasn't one drunk kiss at the Christmas party. This had been going on for months. That evening, Elena showed up at our apartment with sushi and wine, like nothing happened. She hugged me from behind and said softly, "Babe, I know I hurt you, but we can fix this. Let's go to couples therapy. ILL, do anything. Just don't throw away for years because of one stupid night." She even cried and said, "You've been so focused on work lately. I felt lonely." David was just there. Again, she made it sound like I pushed her into his arms. That night, while she was sleeping, I went through her phone one last time. New messages from David that same day. "Everything okay with him? Did you calm him down, Elena?" "He's upset, but I think he'll stay quiet. Just keep acting normal at the office." They were still coordinating behind my back, even after I caught them. And that's when I realized this wasn't just cheating anymore. This was a calculated, long-term affair between my girlfriend and my boss, and they had already decided how the story was going to end. What they did the following week at the office, the way they tried to turn the entire team against me, that was the part that broke me the most. And that's when I realized this wasn't just cheating anymore. This was a calculated, long-term affair between my girlfriend and my boss, and they had already decided how the story was going to end. The following Monday, the office felt like a war zone. Everyone was whispering. Someone had apparently seen Elena and David on the stairs, and the rumor mill was running at full speed. By 10 a.m., half the company already knew something had happened at the Christmas party. Elena came to my desk with perfect red eyes. She must have practiced the crying look, and said loud enough for everyone nearby to hear, "Babe, can we please talk? I'm so embarrassed about what happened on Saturday. I was so drunk and I feel horrible." She made sure the whole open office heard her apology. It was brilliant. She turned herself into the poor drunk girl who made one mistake, and me into the guy who was now making a big deal out of nothing. David, being the boss, played his part perfectly. During the morning stand-up, he casually said, "Hope everyone had a great Christmas party. Some of us had a little too much fun. But that's what the holidays are for, right?" He laughed. The whole team laughed with him. Then he looked straight at me and added, "Sometimes things get taken out of context. We're all adults here." The message was clear. Keep quiet or you'll look like the jealous, insecure boyfriend. By Wednesday, HR got involved. Elena had already gone to them first and told them a very emotional version of events. That I had been controlling and jealous for months. That the kiss was just a friendly hug that got misinterpreted because of alcohol. That she was scared of me and worried about her career. David backed her up completely. When they called me in, the HR lady looked at me with pity and said, "We understand you're upset, but we need to keep the workplace professional. Let's try to move forward as a team." I was the one being investigated for creating a hostile work environment. That same evening, Elena came home acting like the perfect girlfriend again. She brought my favorite food, wore the dress I loved, and said, I talked to HR today so they wouldn't fire you. I protected you, babe. Even after everything you did. Then she started crying and said, "You're ruining both our careers because of one stupid mistake. David is my boss. I have to stay on good terms with him. You're being so selfish right now." She flipped the entire narrative. I was now the toxic, jealous boyfriend who was destroying her career and our relationship over one drunk kiss. While she was in the shower, I checked her phone again. New messages from David that same day. "Don't worry, I've got HR on our side. Just keep playing the victim and he'll look crazy." Alina replied, "He's already falling apart. I think he'll quit soon." They weren't even hiding it anymore. They were actively working together to push me out of the company while she was still living in my apartment. And the final punch, the one that made me question everything I thought I knew about people, came on Friday, because that's when the entire office received an anonymous email with photos from the Christmas party. Photos that showed Elena and David in that lounge room. But the way the email was written, it made it look like I had sent it. And the final punch, the one that made me question everything I thought I knew about people, came on Friday. That Friday morning, the entire company received an anonymous email. Subject line, "Merry Christmas," from the marketing department. Inside were 12 crystal clear photos from the Christmas party lounge. Elena pressed against the wall, David's hand under her dress, them kissing like the world was ending. The email was written as if I had sent it. I thought everyone should see what our boss and his favorite employee were really doing while the rest of us were celebrating. I didn't send it, but everyone believed I did. Within 10 minutes, HR called an emergency meeting. Elena was crying in the conference room, saying I was trying to destroy her career out of jealousy. David looked furious and said, "This is harassment. We need to involve the police." The entire office turned on me. People I had worked with for years started avoiding eye contact. Some even messaged me, "Dude, that was low." I sat there in silence while they decided my fate. HR gave me two options: resign immediately with 2 months severance, or they would open a full investigation against me for creating a hostile work environment and leaking private photos. Elena stood next to David the whole time, playing the victim perfectly. As I was packing my desk, she walked past me and whispered just loud enough for me to hear, "You did this to yourself." That was the last time I ever saw her in person. I resigned that same day. When I got home, I packed all of Elena's things and left them in the hallway with a note. "Take everything and never contact me again." She came that evening with David waiting downstairs in his car. I saw him through the window. She cried, screamed, begged, threatened to sue me for emotional damage. She said, "You ruined my career. You ruined everything. I was going to marry you, and you threw it all away over one stupid night." One stupid night. Even after everything, she still called for months of cheating one stupid night. I didn't argue. I just closed the door and changed the locks the next morning. It took me 3 months to feel human again. I moved to a different city, changed my number, deleted every trace of that company and that relationship. I started freelancing, went to the gym every day, met new people who didn't know my story. The hardest part wasn't losing Elena. The hardest part was realizing that the woman I wanted to marry and the boss I respected had been playing me like a fool for months, right under my nose, in the same office, every single day. But today I'm stronger than I've ever been. I don't hate them anymore. I just feel pity for anyone who has to live with that much dishonesty in their soul. So yeah, that's the full story. Every single humiliating, painful, infuriating detail. I lost my girlfriend, my boss, my job, and almost my reputation. All because I trusted the two people who were supposed to have my back. But I gained something much more important. I learned never to ignore red flags again. I learned that some people will smile to your face while stabbing you in the back. And most importantly, I learned that I can survive even the worst kind of public betrayal. If you're watching this, and you've been betrayed at work, by your partner, or by someone you trusted, just know this: you're not crazy, you're not overreacting, and you will come out stronger on the other side. You can send your own story straight to my email. It's in the description below. I, Putu, will read every single one, and I might tell your story in one of the upcoming episodes. Drop a like if this story hit you hard. Subscribe and turn on notifications. New, real story every single day. Truth hits different when it's your story. See you in the next one. Family, stay strong.